Hi, join me for another 5-minute workout. In today's video, no equipment is necessary. We're going to start with some lunge and twists to activate our lower and our upper body. Side lunges are compound movements that also strengthen the inner thigh more. The inner thigh muscles are also called the hip adductors. They're helpful for lower limb balance and quick changes in direction, which winter sports have a lot of. It's good we're strengthening them because these muscles are often underworked in everyday normal life. For desk workers, stronger hip adductors means a lower risk of injury on the slopes. One-legged glute bridges are much harder than normal glute bridges, hence the shorter workout time. Bicycle crunches are mainly going to work your obliques. These muscles are located underneath your chocolate tab abs. They're like two layers, first the external, then the internal obliques. They help with inclinations and rotations. That's something we're going to get a lot of going down the slopes. We're preparing for all those twists and turns, which is why it's good to strengthen them. Hop onto one side and use that leg to do a side jump. As you're in the air, do a 90-degree turn and land on both feet. Try and land more on the front of your foot and bend your knees to absorb your jump's energy. This explosive exercise also works your coordination. This exercise is a coordination drill. Hop with both feet to the side as if there were two cones on the outside of you. Then hop only with one foot directly underneath you. Every 2 hops, alternate which foot jumps underneath you. To properly stretch your quad while standing, keep your back straight and if it helps, hold onto a chair. Bring your foot to your butt and keep your knees side by side. Move your hips slightly forward and hold this for 30 seconds. Hi, no equipment is needed in this video. Leg swings are a good way to dynamically stretch muscles in your hamstrings, glutes, and iliopsoas, as well as warm them up for a workout. Let's practice some balance. We're going to walk with our eyes closed, and we'll put one heel in front of the toes of the other foot, and vice versa when going backward. This is about increasing the connection of our brain to the receptors in our foot for better balance and control. By jumping slowly, we're working on having controlled movements. You know the drill by now. We're adding a heel raise while a knee is bent to work the soleus, the often overlooked calf muscle. This compound exercise is also a good way to work most of the muscle groups in our lower limbs. Wall sits are a great way to blast our quads, which is the reason why I like to put it at the end of workout. Here's another way to stretch the quads. Go on your knees and lean back. Try and lift the hips toward the ceiling. This should put a stretch in our quads that we can now hold for 30 seconds. Hi, welcome to another workout. Today I'm going to use a resistance band for some crab walking, and there's also going to be a lot of explosive exercises. If you feel like you need to take an extra 15-second break, feel free to do so. We're going to start with a hip opening combo. we're dynamically stretching the hip adductors, the groin, and our butt muscles. We're going to do some more crab walking. The resistance band allows us to strengthen the gluteus medius more. It's a small muscle in the side of our hip that allows us to pull our leg outward. To work it more effectively, as you bring your leg out, push your leg as far as possible, and then when you transfer your body weight onto it, bring back the other leg slowly to make sure that you're working the other gluteus medius more. Let's work towards doing faster skater jumps, learning to rapidly transform the energy of one jump into another one. And in the process, we're also strengthening our ankles. Another dynamic exercise. Don't worry, there's a 15-second break next. Let's do some reverse diagonal lunges to strengthen our quads, hamstrings, and glutes more. This form of lunge also works the inner thigh or hip adductors more. These are important for changing direction and for balance. Hi, in this workout, no equipment is necessary, though potentially if you wanted to use a medium weight for the Russian twists, which is the last exercise, feel free to do so. Pulling our knees to the chest is a good way to activate the iliopsoas muscle. It's a hip flexor, meaning it pulls the knee up. As we're pulling our knee to our chest, we're also gently stretching the bum muscles of that side. You know this exercise by now, and the purpose is to build strength in the lower limbs. A study showed that in the case of the patellofemoral joint, which is the joint connecting our kneecap to our femur in the knee, activation of the quadriceps could decrease pressure in the joint up to 80%. This means that if we want to protect our knees in the long run, the more strength we have in our muscles, the less pressure we'll be inflicting on our knees. Balance is key to working on brain to muscle connection and to improve ankle stability. In this glute bridge exercise, move your feet forward 15 to 30 centimeters in order to work the hamstring muscles more. Compared to a traditional glute bridge, you should feel the muscles in the back of your thigh working more. And finally, to prepare our spine for the twists, turns, and ski jumps, let's do a little ab workout. Hi! In this workout, we're going to be using a step. A step could be anything where you have a difference of elevation with the ground. So in your house, maybe there's a staircase, there you can find a step. Otherwise, in a less good scenario, you could use a chair, which is helpful, except sometimes it's a bit high, so it's a bit less safe. Otherwise, some of these exercises, if you don't have these options or you don't want to try them, you can just do on the ground. Sometimes it works without change of elevation. Otherwise, if you don't have a step and you're in that scenario, you could think of an exercise in the last week and a bit that you enjoyed, or maybe you learned that the gluteus medius is often responsible for injuries because it's too weak and you felt like your gluteus medius could use some strengthening, you can throw in one of those exercises or whichever one you liked. With that being said, here's the workout. Here's a fun activation exercise mobilizing the upper body and spine while gently stretching the inner thigh. Now that we're bringing in a step, we can do proper calf strengthening exercises. Bring your heels as high as possible, and then the extra range of motion when bringing your heel down will allow you to efficiently strengthen your calves. We'll do 30 seconds with 2 feet, and then 15 seconds, 1 foot at a time. Down steps are a great way to strengthen your quad and prepare your knee for real-world movement like forward flexions. Let's keep skater jumps interesting by adding the single leg hop after each landing. Well done. I hope you're getting pumped for the slopes, and I'll see you in the next video.